And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the entertainment capital of Northern California, the Arco Arena, Don Shargin, in association with Main Events, present the featured bout of the evening, 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Junior Lightweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he's wearing red and silver trunks. He weighs 129.5 pounds. He's from Fajardo, Puerto Rico, with a record of 18 wins, 1 loss, with 13 wins by knockout. He's the number 8 ranked challenger in the world, as ranked by the IBF. Here's one, John Molina. And now, fighting out of the red corner, this young man is wearing yellow trunks with blue trim, and he's from Sacramento. He weighs 129.75 pounds with a record of 30 wins, 1 loss, with 22 wins by knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, the current IBF Junior Lightweight Champion of the world, Tony the Tiger Lopez.
That's the neutral corner, and this is the neutral corner. The up man, in case of a knockdown, go to the one corner and stay till I tell you to come out. If your mouthpiece drops out, I have to put it in as soon as there's a lull in the bout. I didn't tell you that this afternoon, okay? I can't wait till the end of the round. All right, shake hands, come out boxing. All right. All right.
The tail of the tape, as you see, almost identical physical specimens, 5'6.5" for Lopez. The reach, a little bit in Lopez's favor. The age and the experience for Lopez. John Molina, given the quickness and the footwork. But Lopez, a gritty, determined, and of course, with 8,000 fans in his arsenal, it's going to be tough to get out of this town with anything less than a loss for John Molina.
Well, John, as you said, he's got youth on his side. He's got the hand and foot speed on his side. That's about it, because the crowd is definitely not on his side. So he's going to have to utilize all the material that he has in his arsenal tonight.
Round 1 underway. It's a 12-rounder already. Molina comes out very quickly and throws a quick right. And, of course, Lopez, who tends to come out very quickly because the crowd gets him so juiced up, will try to be a little more methodical. He doesn't feel that John has the talent of a Rocky Lockridge, but he certainly has the youth and the hand speed, and that's certainly something that Molina has in his favor, as Sonny just mentioned. And usually it takes Tony a little bit longer to warm up to get in there. John will have to take control early, because if the crowd gets behind the champ, Tony Lopez, Molina will have a very, very long night. And already he's thrown more punches as Lopez continues. And we mentioned earlier, Sonny, maybe a feeling out process for Tony Lopez.
That's correct. Both guys right now appear to be feeling one another out there. There's not a lot of punches land here in this first round, but they're moving and stalking. On the inside, look to see the champion go to work. He's a devastating body puncher, and he knows how to work his way back up to the head with those underneath shots.
Rocky Lockridge left Sacramento with 40 stitches back on July 23rd, and I'm sure that the Tiger, Tony Lopez, has the same sort of intentions for the challenger, John Molina, and sticking out a very nice jab, and you'll see a good jab from Tony Lopez.
And with the champion, you can also expect if he goes down, he's capable of getting up, and he knows how to tie his man up and survive the round and come back. This is what he did with Rocky Lockridge.
Went down in that 8th round, did get back up the rally to win the next 3 rounds. And he said, more importantly in that fight, he said he had a pinched nerve in his neck, and it kind of just, when he got hit, it just went haywire. And he lost his equilibrium and could not hold on, and finally just survived the 8th round to pull out the unanimous 12-round decision. And Rocky Lockridge, a veteran of some 48 professional fights, said he had never been beaten as physically as he was back on July 23rd.
And aside from that, Lockridge, he committed a no-no. He came out of the neutral corner a little too soon. Lou Duva got on him about that later, which caused the count to be stopped. He may have walked away with a knockout in that and retained his title.
Lopez and Molina, round 1 of 12. And Molina countered with a nice right, and the Tiger trying to loosen up now. Neither fighter exceptionally sharp here in the first 2 minutes. Molina gets warned by the referee, Hank Ellisbrew, for a maybe just slightly a low blow there, nothing too serious. As we said, the Arco Center the lid lifter as far as boxing goes here, and their hometown hero at center ring. Tony Lopez in the gold, Molina in the red, blue, and silver of Puerto Rico. 22 seconds to go in round number 1. Molina gets warned again by the referee to keep him up. Rather a nondescript first round. Both fighters showing very little here in the first 3 minutes, but it's a 12-rounder as Lopez goes on the charge. We'll come back with action of round number 2 of a 12-rounder from the Arco Center in Sacramento after this. Welcome back. Round number 2 of 12. The IBF Junior Lightweight Championship is on the table right now. The champion in the gold trunks got nailed by a pretty nice right hand by the challenger, John Molina, at the end of round 1. The crowd in the corner of Molina got very excited about that. Lopez did go after him slightly after the bell, but I think it might have woken up the champion. He comes out with a little more determined look in his face, but Molina known for quick combinations, excellent hand speed, and very good footwork, looking like a young Edwin Rosario.
And as this fight goes along and progresses, Hugh, you can expect the champion to turn on the afterburners. He's going to start heating things up. And the challenger, he will be no slouch himself. He's going to do the same.
Would you think that Lopez must get inside, though?
Lopez must get inside, but he's got to be cautious when he's going inside because the hand speed of John is very, very sharp. He's very, that 1-2 punch right there. He didn't hit anything, but that's what he's got to watch for when he goes on the inside.
And as we mentioned at the top of the show, a very tough first defense for a gentleman who had a war back on July 23rd. Both men in very, very bad shape after the fight. Lockridge taking the worst of it, but Lopez was certainly racked up pretty well, and now some 3 months later he's back right at it against a tough challenger by the name of John Molina, age 21 years old, and with already 2 years of professional. A big left hook by Molina, and down goes Lopez. A quick left hook, and it was the hand speed of Molina sending the Tiger.
The right hand of the champion was down, and right across that outstretched right hand came that left hook. That's what you have to watch for when you got hand speed like the challenger.
Now Lopez comes dashing out of the neutral corner, trying to. Lopez says he's not hurt, but he did hit the deck, and now Molina with some very good hand speed. Lopez doing some nice ducking, and maybe the champion will be wise to get a little more serious about this bout.
Absolutely. A lot of punches was thrown over there by the challenger, John, but he didn't connect with a lot of them also. He's trying to measure the champion. The champion is being very good and defensively, slipping under a lot of those punches.
Lopez in Molina's corner. Now he comes out with a big combination, and the crowd gets into it. The first nice combination landed by the champion after he hit the deck there, about 40 seconds in to round number 2. Maybe the straight left jab is coming pretty good by Lopez.
Maybe hitting the deck is the thing that needed to awaken the champion early in this fight.
Wake-up call in the second round for the champion. Molina, though, coming right back out, trying to finish up his work. Molina not known for great punching power, but certainly it was a very good left hook over the very lackadaisical right hand by Lopez.
And it appeared also Lopez, when he got tagged, it appeared as though he was pulling back from the punch, straight back, which is a no-no. You got to go to the left or the right rather than straight back. He got caught up just with the end of that punch.
Lopez getting his wake-up call. 10 seconds to go in round number 2, and we will stay as John Molina having a very, very successful second round, and the crowd a little stunned. We'd like to see their hometown hero get a little more enthused as Molina tries a little extracurricular activity at the end of round number 2. So a good round for the challenger as we get a look in the corner of Tony Lopez. And we're going to take a look at that knockdown about 45-50 seconds into round number 2. The left hook coming over a lazy right hand by Tony Lopez, and Lopez hit the deck, got up quickly, shook it off, or at least it looked that way.
And it appeared also, as I said to you, he pulled back, but the right hand was still down. If you're going to pull back, you should at least have that right hand up to protect yourself against that left hook.
Here's another look at that knockdown. A wild left to the body, then finally the right goes down, and down goes the champion. Nice round for John Molina. Jimmy Montoya, Norm Lockwood working that corner right now of the champion. He doesn't appear to be too fazed by the knockdown, but certainly tends to get one's attention when you hit the deck, especially in front of your 8,000 very faithful fans here.
And you don't want them to see that. You want them to be in your corner.
Your 8,000 very faithful fans here.
And you don't want them to see that. You want them to be in your corner with you on your feet, not on your back.
So Lopez has to get the jab cranking. Molina looking very sharp in rounds number 1 and number 2. As we mentioned, excellent footwork and the hand speed, certainly the key early on. Working, we got some extra Vaseline over the right eye of John Molina. Hank Ellis Prue making sure that it didn't go any further, having it wiped off by the corner of Molina as we see Lopez continue to stalk, but not effectively, Sonny. He's not cutting off the ring as he said he would, and Molina with the good footwork has stayed out of harm's way.
And he's getting tagged. The champion is getting tagged with that left jab. John is working that left jab. Good, he goes downstairs right there with a good left-right combination. Not a lot of damage being done.
And Lopez appears to be pretty just settled on throwing 1- and 2-punch combinations, not the flurries like he did against Rocky Lockridge.
He's bordering on the line of being lethargic in this round also, Hugh. He's not mixing it up. He's not getting on the inside and doing the work that he did with Lockridge on the inside.
Blood starting to trickle from the nose of the champion. Molina's been pretty much in charge from round number 1, taking full control from round number 2. A nice right by Lopez after a good hook dug to the body to the champion by Molina.
And then you notice Molina's trying to come underneath with that good left hook, and it's been working for him pretty good. He's measuring well with that jab.
And here all along we thought, Sonny, that Lopez would be the man going to the body.
Well, John said earlier that he was going to do what was necessary. He expected to come in here and brawl, but he was going to box, he was going to brawl if he had to, but basically utilize his speed.
The corner of Tony Lopez imploring him to continue the pressure, continue to throw the combinations, not 1 and 2 punches, but 4, 5, and 6. And to this point in the fight, Lopez has failed to put them together, although that is due in some part to the fine footwork and excellent hand speed of John Molina.
Well, Lopez is having difficulty slipping under that jab of the challenger.
Centering action here in round number 3, the championship, the IBF Junior Lightweight title belt is on the line. The challenger, you see, in the glitter trunks, and the champ in the gold, although he did come out in tiger trunks back in July. Tonight a little more subdued in the gold and black. Lopez continues to maybe clown a little more than his corner would like, I think.
He got hit with a right hand, and he shook his head to tell the challenger, John, that it didn't do any damage. And John appeared to walk into a right hand himself.
Molina, known for the footwork and the hand speed, has demonstrated he is well schooled in all aspects, and Lopez continues to be unimpressive for almost 9 minutes of this fight. We'll come back with round number 4 from Sacramento after this. Welcome back to Sacramento. The Arco Center is the site. The IBF Junior Lightweight Championship is the title on the line. Humilay and Sonny Means ringside for FNN Score as we begin round number 4 of 12. You got Lopez in the gold and the black trim with Molina in the blue, red, and silver trunks. And so far, the scorecard, Sonny Means, how do you have it after 1/4 of the fight in the books?
Well, so far right now, I have I have it pretty even. The first round was even altogether. And I gave the champion that last round. And the round before that went to John with a knockdown.
Nice right hand by the champ, but Molina comes back with a pretty nice combination himself. Probably the most impressive right hand landed by the champion as he continues to try to get in, but Molina tough with that jab, sticking it out there. And Lopez, who does some excellent work inside when he gets there, has yet to really show that he can get inside because Molina has just been so tough, keeping that jab in his face and other combinations. And so far, he's been the quote-unquote, I guess you'd say, ring general.
Absolutely. And he's just been warned for another low blow, John.
Losing his balance. Would have a nice opportunity for Lopez to climb all over him, but he didn't pull the trigger. A right hand landing as you see the perspiration flying off the face of Molina, but to no avail as he stands right there toe-to-toe and continues on his toes. And Lopez trying to force the action, but he really hasn't gotten Molina in against the ropes or in any corners. And the jab by Molina continues to snap back the head of the champ.
Good stiff jab from Molina.
And that was over the right of the champion. The blood starts to trickle from the nose of the champion again. An uneventful fight to this point, except for the second round knockdown scored by the challenger. About 45 seconds into round number 2 is a nice left hook, leveling the champ. And since that time, I think Lopez has spawned a new sense of respect for John Molina and his punching power. Not a big knockout. In 18 fights, he's had 13 knockouts, but no more for excellent hand speed, as I said, and good combinations. And so far, Lopez has yet to figure out the challenger. Nice right hand delivered by Molina over a sagging left hand by Lopez as he continues to clown and not getting anything done. Surprisingly, Lopez has an 1.5 inch reach advantage, but to this point in the fight, it's been Molina with the reach effectiveness, and Lopez trying to land the big right over the left jab, and right there a grazing right. Of course, the crowd reacting a lot more favorably for any punches landed by Lopez as opposed to John Molina.
And John Molina is doing the better work in this fight at this point, in this round, I should say.
John Molina, another very, very good round. Round number 4 is about in the books. And will come out as one loss in his professional record, but he contests that. He talked about that earlier today.
He went down to his one knee on his back knee. He made maybe an inch upward movement, so I hit him again, and next thing you know, I was disqualified.
That, of course, was against Ramon Rico back on September 2nd of last year. 23 days later, after getting disqualified in that 7th round, I should say, he took out Rico to make good on his promise, KO3. So he feels, as far as a loss, nobody has beaten the Tiger, Sonny. But right now, John Molina doing a pretty good job of it.
Well, he had better come alive in this fight because he will walk out of here -1 title and 1 belt, you should say.
Round number 5 of 12. The IBF, of course, ruling back in August to go to 12 rounds. Previously, they had been the last federation to go to 12 rounds. The BA and BC went to 12. The IBF held out as long as it could, but finally they relented and they went to 12 rounds. So this is an IBF 12-rounder. Now, John Molina starting to use the ring a little more effectively. Lopez continuing to stalk, but to no effectiveness.
The ring is about 18 feet on the inside. There's 22 all told, but 18 on the inside of the ropes. And at this point, John is utilizing it to his advantage.
But I would think that John Molina, A, in front of a hostile home crowd, B, being that he is a challenger, will have to continue to press, continue to be impressive, and maybe have a couple other big rounds if he intends to leave Sacramento and head back to San Juan.
Of course. Oh, a good right hand.
Another right hand by Molina, and Lopez is holding on.
He was hurt by that right hand. He's still on wobbly legs.
Molina. Lopez trying to duck, and he's still on some wobbly legs. Now he's in the corner.
He's going down.
He is hurt badly by John Molina. Is trying to hold on right above us here. The champion in big, big trouble. The Puerto Rican challenger pounding away. Another big round by John Molina. And Tony Lopez is in big trouble here in round number 5.
And you wonder if the referee would want to give a standing 8 count at this point or what? He's being nailed all over the place, and he's on rubbery legs.
Hold up, Tony!
Tony Lopez, the championship on the line here, and the challenger just pounding away. Tony Lopez in big, big trouble here in round number 5. An upset could be in the making as now Lopez wants to hold on, but John Molina not going to let Lopez away as he did in round number 2.
But he's not throwing any punches, and the ref has yet to say anything. He's pushing him back. Obviously, he's taking a look at the eyes of the champion and feels that he's still he's able to handle himself. He's holding on pretty good with the round trickling down.
Will Edgington and Jimmy Montoya working the corner of the champion, imploring him to cover up and hold on, but Molina continues to pound away. A big round for the challenger, rocking Lopez on a number of occasions. And the Tiger is hurt big time here in round number 5. He can hold on for 20 more seconds. He will weather this storm, but right now falling way behind on the scorecards. He comes out with a nice right hand, gets the respect of Molina. Now he starts to rally slightly.
And what Molina has to do, he has to be careful.
Lopez winning a big 5th round, but Lopez a victory of sorts just to survive the 5th round. He started to clown again. Sonny, as we're going to check the replay out, it was a big right hand by John Molina. Before it was left, now the right on the button.
Right behind the left hand. That's the way it's picture perfect, the way it should be done.
Lopez continued to hold on. Molina not known to be a big puncher, could not put him away. Later in the round, Lopez had yet to throw a punch in retaliation. Molina had him in Lopez's corner. Edgington and Jimmy Montoya imploring their man to hold on and cover up. But Lopez, toward the end of round 5, did land a decent right hand and a decent jab, so he did maintain, but another big round for John Molina.
Now, during the rules meeting last night, the referee, is at his discretion to give a standing 8 count if he feels that it's necessary. Obviously, the ref did not feel that it was necessary to give the standing 8 count.
So right now, Tony the Tiger Lopez defending his title for the first time since winning it back on July 23rd. A 12-round decision over Rocky Lockridge has his hands full. And John Molina just bursts out of his corner and heads out to tear the title belt right from Tony Lopez. The crowd seems to be very perplexed by the fight plan by Tony Lopez.
They're throwing things in the ring now also.
Lopez now trying to cut off the ring. He did rally at the end of round 5, but you still have to give John Molina a big 5th round. I see you have a 10 round, Sonny.
Absolutely.
10-9, excuse me. But you don't know, maybe another judge might have seen a 10-8.
He may have seen a 10-8 because the champion was hurt throughout, so therefore the judges may have ruled it a 10-8 round, although he did not go down.
The thing is, home court advantage is out the window right now because John Molina is making the 18-foot ring his home court. And Lopez has not been impressive at all.
And if it continues to go the way it did in the 5th round, you could see the upset in the making.
You hate to use the term overconfidence, but certainly the way this fight started, Lopez, the way he has clowned in some rounds, you have to wonder if he's as serious about this. And we talked about a cliche, the eye of the tiger at the top of the show, Sonny. You said, hey, John's hungry. He doesn't have a world title. Lopez has climbed the mountain. He's got his title. Maybe he's not as hungry.
Well, he's had the best meal, so he feels right now, I don't need the prime steak at this point. But John says, listen, I want the prime steak and the salad that goes with it.
Lopez must turn up the heat here in round 6, 7, 8 if he intends to get this fight back in his corner. Of course, to wake up a crowd, which is reported, according to promoter Don Shargan, in excess of 8,000. Jimmy Montoya up in Lopez's corner, imploring his fighter to start throwing some punches, something he almost looks reluctant to pull the trigger on his combinations.
You know, John Molina is going to have to do. He's boxing, he's staying outside, he's staying out of harm's way, but he's going to have to mix it up because he's not going to win the fight staying away and staying out of reach too long. He's got to get inside and throw some punches, do some damage.
He's certainly demonstrating some excellent footwork and some nice ring generalship, but right now he is not piling up any points, and nobody here that impressive in round number 6.
And you have to realize what John Molina has to realize that this is a championship fight, and you don't just walk through the ring and dance around and win the title. You've got to take it.
30 seconds to go in round number 6, and John Molina not as impressive as round number 5, but certainly Tony Lopez has not shown the hometown crowd too much to cheer about himself. And Molina just staying away from Tony Lopez.
I don't know why he feels it's necessary to do a coasting job in this round. He should be going to work.
You would think that he had him pretty well rocked there in round number 5. We will wrap up round number 6. Round number 7 is next from Sacramento after this. Welcome back to the Arcos Center, and right now things are not going well for the Tiger, and I would think right now he's got 22 knockouts in his 30 wins, Sonny. I would think that Tony Lopez would be wise to score a knockout because he's not in too good a shape for too many cards.
Correct, and I would think also that Molina at this point, he should realize he's not doing dirty dancing after this is for the World Championship. He should be going out there trying to get that belt and trying to get to the champion. He got it with a good right hand, no damage done, but he's staying on the outside a little bit too much. He's not mixing it up. If you want the title, you got to go and get it. Be cautious in moving in.
It's almost as his philosophy has changed, Sonny, somewhat from trying to win, trying not to lose right now.
Correct. But he's not that far ahead that he can be comfortable thinking that he's going to go the distance in this fight and win it.
Lopez landing a right hand, rocking Molina after some nice jabs. Molina standing right in front of him. Lopez trying to warm up to the crowd. Oh, they've been almost half asleep because their man has yet to do anything to cheer about. He's trying to turn up the heat here in round number 7, and John Molina just staying out of harm's way. Lopez, known for a very, very stiff left jab, has not really used it that effectively. and the combinations have been few and far between. And when they do land, they are ineffective.
I was going to say he hasn't used very many effective punches. You know, he's being the effective aggressor. He's moving after the man, and John is staying away, but the champion is not landing.
John Molina had a very quick start against Lupe Suarez back in May of '87 and looked very good until Suarez, the big puncher, caught up with him in round number 9. He has won 4 fights since that fight, and his handlers feel he's a much improved fighter than he was back when he lost to Suarez. And now Tony trying to turn up the heat here, trying to stick that jab out, but continues to throw 1- and 2-punch combinations. But certainly to get rolling, he's got to throw 3-, 4-, and 5-punch combinations.
He's got to slip, slide, and get on the inside and work that body with those combinations. But he can't do it from afar. This man is too fast for him.
Molina's starting to taunt him slightly right now. Lopez landing a decent left jab. But the taunting has started. Lopez started it early in the fight, but right now Molina certainly has a lot more to taunt about. Round number 7, and the champion in dire straits right now. He's already been knocked down in the 2nd, rocked in the 4th, or rocked in the 5th, I should say. And certainly has done nothing in the 6th and the 7th to turn anybody's heads.
And there's a lot on the line for the champion here. There's a possibility of a rematch with Lopez down the road, but first of all, a unification match with one of the other champions in his division.
We said at the top of the show it might have been a little too much to chew for the champion, his first title defense. But right now, he's got his work cut out for him. We'll come back with round number 8 after this. And we welcome you back. You're looking at the corner of the challenger, John Molina, who probably is leading on many scorecards here at the Arcar Center. But here it is, Tony Lopez landing maybe his most effective shot of the fight, a big right hand, which straightened up Molina. But as you can see, he came back with a combination himself. So Lopez, his best shot of the night taken, and Molina coming right back. So psychologically, that's good for Molina and kind of bad for Lopez.
Absolutely, because at this point, Lopez has not stolen the heart from the challenger, John. He has not gotten the respect from him that he should be getting from a challenger.
This is when Lopez turned up the heat against Rocky Lockridge back on July 23rd. He went down in the 8th round, but it was the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, which he rallied and pulled out the fight. It's time now for Tony to punch in the time card and go to work. But can he catch a very slick and talented John Molina? To this date, he has not.
He's missing with that overhand right. He's throwing the punch, but there's no one there because Molina is getting out of the way of that punch.
But the question right now, and you brought it up before, Sonny, is Molina showing enough and being offensive enough to show that, yes, I do want to take this time?
But that's what he has to worry about in the minds of the judges. You must impress them judges with your ability to box, but also get inside and land some punches.
Tony Lopez insists that he doesn't hear the roar of the crowd. He said he only heard the voice or the heavy breathing of Rocky Lockridge back on July 23rd. But right now, if he can derive any sort of energy and enthusiasm from the crowd, he better do it, because it's the 8th round, and as far as many people at ringside are concerned, the champion's in trouble.
Right now, what John Molina is doing, he's pot-shotting. He's moving around, picking his shots, nailing the champion, making the champion look bad, really, giving him a boxing lesson. This is a clinic for the champion.
The champion's got to turn up the heat. He's got to take some chances, I would think. Molina doing an excellent job of sticking and slicking, back and forth, changing up his style. Lopez trying to land that big right hand to, as you saw in the 7th, he did land it once. The Sacramento crowd here, not real enthused what they've seen, although a nice body shot to the midsection of John Molina. The crowd getting more into it. Their man showing a little more here in round number 8. Another good right by Lopez. And you can hear the roar of the crowd.
Okay, now he's got it going with the right hand. What he needs now is to get underneath with the body shot. That's what he just did with the body shot and go back up to the head.
Possibly Tony Lopez's most impressive round here. Another nice right landed by the champion. The crowd is on its feet. He's trying to get inside. They're trading jabs quite effectively right now. Molina not really hurt, but certainly showing a little more respect for the punching power.
Well, if the champion would get in, if he had started working on that body earlier, perhaps he would have slowed John down at this point. You're in the 8th round, and he's still moving like it's the 1st or the 2nd round.
A nice combination by Tony Lopez, and the crowd is on its feet. Finally, the crowd getting somewhat involved. And the chants of Tony start to emanate from a crowd in excess of 8,000 here at the Arco Center in Sacramento. And with 4 rounds to go, Sonny Means, you got to figure it's time for Tony Lopez to realize how important this fight is, and it's time for him to realize that John Molina is not going to roll over.
He's got to realize he's got to go back to July 23rd, and he's got to rekindle that hunger that he had when he fought with Lockwood to retain this title. As you can hear in the background, the crowd is definitely behind him. They want him to ignite himself and get out there and go to work and retain this title.
We've been through.
What he'll have to do is what he did in the last round. Cut off the ring on the challenger, get inside, work the body, and go back upstairs to the head. He started the right hand to working, then he went to the body. That is what he's going to have to do. Cut that ring off and try to slow this man down. Trap him in the corner if you can.
John Molina has only been to the 9th round twice in his career. He won a 10-round decision back on March 19th of '87 over Victor Aponte, and losing a 9th round knockout of Lupi Suarez back in May 24th. As you see Lopez coming out of here in round number 9, forcing the action right off the bat. Molina showing great concentration though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Lopez trying to pull out all stops right now.
Good left hook from Lopez to John Molina. That's what he's got to do. Work the body, go underneath, and come back up to the head.
He started that late in round number 8. Starts here in round number 9. Referee picked off. Jimmy Montoya working the corner, just imploring his fighter to keep the pressure on. He's got to keep the pressure on. A former miler in junior high and high school is Tony Lopez. He feels his stamina has won him many fights, and right now he'll have to dig down deep in that reserve.
A good left hook to the chest of the challenger from the champion Lopez.
Lopez trying to cut off that ring and put some pressure on John Molina. The jab grazing the face of John. And now Molina holding on for the first time in this fight.
And that's a smart move by Molina. His back was against the ropes. He knows that this champion can go to work and go to work well on the body, so he held on.
A left to the body made Molina cover up, and now he comes up top, and Lopez, which has a slight contusion over the left eye, continues to plod forward and tries to cut off the ring, and Molina continues to show, as we mentioned many times before, some very, very slick footwork.
If the champion Lopez would stop aiming for the head and maybe and shoot a shot for the chest, he'll connect with what he wants to get. He's going for a bigger silhouette and going to the body, but when you go for the head, because John is doing an excellent job getting his head out of the
Good combination by Lopez, and Molina is rocking. He looks like he looked back to say, I'm not hurt, but certainly the way his body wavered after being nailed by some good combinations by Lopez. Lopez has had a good round in round number 8, and he's continued the pressure here in round number 9. Lopez landing more shots here in the past 2 rounds than he did maybe in the previous 7. And maybe the strength of Lopez is starting to take its toll on the challenger, John Molina, inside 30 seconds in round number 9. A big left jab pushes Molina back. And now he's starting to feel the enthusiasm of the crowd as he puts the pressure on.
2 good jabs to the head of John. Another good jab.
We will come back with round number 10, 11, and 12 of this 12-rounder from Sacramento after this. Welcome back. Round number 10 of 12. The IBF Junior Lightweight Championship is on the line, and on the line in a big time, on a big way, because on Sonny Means' scorecard, 86-86. 86-86.
That is absolutely correct. The champion has been coming back, stealing these rounds in the last few seconds of the round, and this is the way the judges are looking. This is a championship fight, and if the champion can do anything in the last few seconds, that's going to be impressive for the judges.
Lopez trying to press the action, much like he did in impressive rounds number 8 and round number 9. We were in round number 10. Lopez appears to have caught his second win, where Molina is starting to feel the pressure, not only from Lopez, but I think he's starting to feel the pressure from the crowd.
And I have to correct myself, there was a 2-point round in the knockdown round when the champion was knocked down. So the challenger is slightly ahead by 1 point because there was a 2-point round.
A 2-point round for John Molina. Okay, so he's up by a point according to Sonny. Unofficial, we might add. But now Lopez trying to wing away, and Molina not as sharp as he was earlier in the fight, and Lopez trying to pressure and continue to stalk the challenger.
Molina slowing down some both hand and foot speed, but is still superior to the champion.
Lopez showing some nice power himself to jab. Very impressive, but he has yet to turn this into a brawl, and to be effective many times, Tony Lopez must work inside, and so far Molina has kept him outside.
Well, Molina does not want to get into a brawl, I feel, at this point, Hugh, because the body shots that he's been taking, obviously they've been slowing him down a bit. He's not, ooh, a good left hook.
Nice left hook by Molina. He raises his hands almost in victory, but Lopez continues the pressure, but it was an effective left hook by the challenger. Now he starts to get a little flashy. Does John Molina.
But those left hooks and those rights that the challenger, John is throwing, they're coming 1, 2 at a time. They're not coming in combination. It's once here and there, and he's moving away.
Lopez has not effectively come up the ring against a slick challenger. He has landed some better punches here in rounds 8, 9, and 10. But now people are starting to boo Molina because he looks like he's on his bicycle. The first world champion ever from Sacramento is Tony Lopez, and on the verge right now of possibly losing his first title defense should he not turn up the pressure sufficient enough to pull this decision out. A nice right hand by Lopez rocks Molina at the end of round number 10.
As I said earlier, Hugh, the champion knows how to come back and steal a round in the last few seconds of a round.
A nice round for both fighters, but certainly more effective, at least toward the latter portion, for Tony Lopez. We'll come back with round number 11 after this. Round number 11 from the Arco Center in Sacramento, California. Hugh Millay ringside for Referee and Score, joined by analyst Sonny Means. And at center ring is the champion and the challenger, Tony Lopez, and John Molina going toe-to-toe here, trading punches, much to the delight of the pro-Lopez crowd here in Sacramento.
This could mean the difference in winning and losing at this point, because if the challenger stays inside, he may get roughed up because the champion is devastating on the inside.
Tony Lopez says, I worked 5 years to get this world title. I'm not going to let it go tonight. But right now, John Molina, with just 19 professional fights under his belt, is, according to Sonny Means' scorecard, knotted up. So we're tied ringside here, at least as far as our scorecard goes.
But John has a slight head after the last round with that 1 point.
Lopez trying to get inside, but he has not done it effectively. And Montoya continues to try to get his fighter to throw more punches, more combinations.
Lopez has been waiting. He will nail the guy, and then he'll wait.
John Molina just staying outside far enough to avoid a very, very effective jab. Now Lopez trying to go to the body a little more effectively. The crowd trying to get into it. Now Lopez takes a couple shots from Molina as we're midway through round number 11, and Lopez has not carried over the momentum from rounds number 9 and 10 into this 11th round. In fact, I believe Molina has kind of stopped the momentum.
Absolutely. He's a different fighter than he was in round 4.
Stiff jab by Lopez. Good combination by Molina. Two excellently conditioned fighters here in round number 11, showing no sign of let-up.
John Molina's breathing heavily from the mouth now also, Hugh.
He's never been to the 11th round. As I said before, a 10-round decision was his longest fight. A nice bit of swelling over Molina's left eye as Lopez tries to counter effectively. And it's almost as Lopez turned into a counter-puncher tonight, when really it's his way to force the action.
He's been the aggressor. He's been moving in, but he hasn't been throwing the combination that he should be throwing in, going on the inside.
A nice right hand by Lopez.
Oh, there's 1 point for the low blow.
A low blow by Molina. Hank Ellisprue, the referee, saw enough for the low blows. And that was right after a vicious right hand landed by Lopez.
And that could change the complexion of things.
A low blow landed by Lopez. And now Lopez and Molina taunt each other at the end of round 11. And now we go to round number 12, Sonny. And with the point deducted, you got to feel at least ringside that this fight is probably all knotted up. A right hand missed, but the low blow landed. In fact, two low blows.
Right.
2 for the price of 1. And Hank Ellisprue stepped in, saw enough, and that was about the 4th or 5th time that he did warn the challenger, so it was about time that a point was deducted. A crucial time in the fight, though.
Absolutely. That became an 8-10-8 round. I was giving the round to the champion Lopez at 10-9, but that 1 point deduction, that made it 10-8.
So now Lopez and Molina look at each other from across the ring. Both corners have to figure that the winner of this round wins the fight. It comes down to a 1-round fight right now.
And if it goes to a draw, well, of course, the champion walks away with his title.
And he'd have to be considered rather lucky because, at least for the first 5 or 6 rounds of this fight, he was not impressive in the least. But he has come on. And Molina look at each other from across the ring. Both corners have to figure that the winner of this round wins the fight. It comes down to a 1-round fight right now.
And if it goes to a draw, well, of course, the champion walks away with his title.
And he'd have to be considered rather lucky because, at least for the first 5 or 6 rounds of this fight, he was not impressive in the least. But he has come on, he has rallied, much like he did in the Lockridge fight. Round number 12, the 2-touch gloves at center ring. John Molina, the challenger. He comes out realizing that he must take it. Lopez landing a big combination, rocking Molina. Lopez realizing it's all on the line here in round number 12. Molina knows it's all on the line. The winner of this round probably will get the nod from the judges. Another good combination landed by the Tiger.
And right now, the Tiger seems to have the edge in this with these combinations to the body and back up to the head.
Lopez saving the best for last, hopefully not too late. Molina showing a little bit of fatigue, just slumping over.
In the last 2 rounds, he was breathing heavily from the mouth, and he has definitely slowed considerably. This is the first time this is new country for him in the 12th round.
Lopez trying to land that big right hand.
Both guys are looking for one big bomb.
Lopez certainly more impressive here in round number 12, although Molina comes back with a nice combination himself.
There's a good uppercut to the head of Lopez.
The crowd is starting to chant, Tony, Tony. Some excellent combinations by Lopez.
2 good left-right combinations to the head of Molina from Tony Lopez.
The corner of Molina yelling, but Molina looks very, very tired while Lopez continues the pressure. A left staggers Molina, but he comes right back for more. Now he comes back with a combination, but Lopez. Both fighters are now edging toward exhaustion. Midway through round number 12.
There's absolutely no bounce in the legs of Molina at this point, but the champion is bouncing back and forth. Good left-right exchange from both fighters.
A tremendous 12th round here. Both fighters showing a lot of grit, but Lopez certainly landing the more effective punches. John Molina trying to hold on to that big lead he built up in rounds 1 through 6, and now Lopez with a big comeback here. The combinations are now being landed. Molina trying to get flashy. A good combination by Molina stuns the champion. Jimmy Montoya just yelling at Tony Lopez to put his punches together.
He's exhorting him to get inside and put those combinations together like they worked on in the gym. Good right hand.
Toe-to-toe they go here in round number 12. John Molina, the challenger, trying to steal the title from the champ, Tony Lopez. A nice combination by Molina, rocks Lopez as he heads back toward the ropes. Inside 20 seconds. Lopez continues to stick out the jab. The crowd is yelling, Tony. Hank Ellisprue pulls the 2 fighters apart inside 15 seconds. Molina rallying here late in round number 12. This will be a critical decision by the judges. Both fighters essentially out on their feet, but Molina rallying here in round number 12. It is over, and John Molina feels he might have stolen the title here. The IBF Junior Lightweight Championship title is definitely on the line. The judges go to the scorecards. A 12-round decision. How close can it be? Who did you give that last round to, Sonny?
That last round was so close, I'm afraid to give you. But I gave the slight edge to the champion. I may be wrong.
It has gone to the scorecards of the judges. We are going to stay ringside here for the decision by the judges. A 10-point must-have, and as we said, 3 judges at ringside have their work cut out for them. And we know which, of course, will be the most popular decision. But you mentioned a draw, and right now you have to figure it's certainly a distinct possibility.
And the official scoring will come from the judges, and we have to sit and wonder, how did they view the fight? In the eyes of the judges, it's completely different from yours and mine.
And we had a different seat than the judges ringside, so we'll have to see. Tony Lopez, once again, has to feel that if he had the wake-up call a little earlier, maybe than the 5th or 6th round, he probably could have won this fight rather easily. But John Molina coming out quickly, taking the fight to the champion, building up what many people think might have been a pretty big lead going into the late rounds. Did Lopez rally enough in rounds 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 to pull this one out?
Did the point deduction help the champion pull this victory out? Because there was a point deduction in there.
If the stations would stay with us, we're going to have the decision of the championship directly as the judges have turned in their scorecards. And we hope to have it directly in just a matter of seconds and see if John Molina came to Sacramento and stole the title from the champion, Tony Lopez, making his first title defense. This is the only knockdown of the fight. It occurred in round number 2 when John Molina was in pretty good shape. A nice left over, a tucked in right by Lopez, and down went the champ. In fact, round number 2 was a big round for John Molina. He had him hurt, had him out. We thought very close.
Yes.
And you thought the Hank Ellis crew, the ref, could have stopped it at that point. At least a standing 8 was in order.
A standing 8 count, yes. But
John Molina in his corner from Puerto Rico feeling very strongly that they won this decision. The Lopez corner, of course, Will Edgington and Jimmy Montoya feel that their man did just enough maybe to get a nod from the judges.
And we'll have to wait for
We'll
the
have to
judge's
wait and
decision
see, and please,
exactly.
if the local stations would stand by, because the decision, it will be rendered in a matter of seconds. There is your challenger coming from Puerto Rico. And the Puerto Rico fans down there in Channel 11 have to be extremely excited about the way their fighter fought. And of course, Arco Center, is the site. And right now we're going to send you up to Jim Hall for the announcement of the judges' scorecards.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Judge Gibbs scores it 114-113. Judge Smith scores it 114-113. Judge Maltz scores it 115-111. Winner by unanimous decision, and still IBF Junior Lightweight Champion of the World, Tony the Tiger Lopez.
Tony Lopez retains his IBF Junior Lightweight title with a surprisingly unanimous decision. 114-113, 114-113, and a scorecard which I might have to do a little investigation into. 115-111.
Where did that come from?
Hard to fathom. We had it a scorecard, probably a point winner for Tony Lopez.
Yes.
So the crowd here in Sacramento extremely happy with the decision. Tony Lopez here on score, retaining his IBF Junior Lightweight Championship. For Sonny Means, I'm Hugh Millay bidding you farewell from the Arco Center in Sacramento. Good night, everybody. We're Tony Lopez.